And the sauce?
Combos.
Martimo.
Yeah, I can figure that out. I compiled and translated over 100 words from the Made in Abyss anime, manga, wiki, and anywhere else I could find to answer just one very important question. What is the deal with that language? Specifically, I mean the Ilblu Village language from Made in Abyss Season 2, the anime we watched in all its disturbing glory during the summer season. Today, we shall dive into the depths of what these mysterious words really mean, and how their inclusion as a simple world-building detail ties together Made in Abyss more than you realize. Now, some may not consider me a language expert. However, last I checked, I can speak at least one language. So here is every page of the manga that contains any tiny piece of dialogue from the Narahate, and here is all that in an alphabetically sorted spreadsheet. Some of these are already translated thanks to certain panels having translations, these random twins that talk about beyond glyphs sometimes, and this very helpful one with Rico. I then used this information to perform an intense scholarly analysis optimized for maximally effective linguistic pattern identification called that thing look like this thing, ooga booga, control F, let's see what other words look like that thing. Oh wow, nice. Went ahead and repeated that about 1,000 times. I forgot the color of grass. To clear some stuff up real quick, the language that the hollows of Ilblu Village speak is the same one that was once spoken at the Abyss Edge by these dudes, because technically the hollows are kinda descended from Irimui, who was an original speaker of the language. Emphasis on technically. The current divers in Orth speak a canonically different language with its own separate writing system, the Netherglyphs. Fun fact, the Netherglyphs are actually just Japanese katakana modified to look more epic. Inside Ilblu, the writing that remains are the Beyond Glyphs, and they do not correspond with the real writing system. The Beyond Glyphs carry many meanings within just one glyph, which in simpler terms means really confusing. Moving on to the language itself, starting with value. Value. Seriously, Made in Abyss is obsessed with value. The divers explore an unknown abyss in search of valuable artifacts. The whole reason Ilblu even exists is because the Hollows were originally looking for a golden city, which might explain why they're willing to give up an arm and a leg to an angry monster for some good scrumptious value. I mean Haku. Haku means value, but so does Shiku, Gutsme, Fa, and Kefu, because to be clear, Made in Abyss is a big fan of value. This may seem confusing, but most of these are thankfully explained by Gaburun, who describes the main tiers of value as follows. She is represented with one stroke, line, and engraving. I don't write with the laser gun. She indicates the initial value, a modest wish. Next is ku, represented by two chi stacked on top of each other, which is convenient since ku translates to the accumulation of value. To quote Fapta, when she is gathered, ku, or when the initial values are gathered, value accumulates. Next is Gutsu, represented by three lines, meaning the solidification of value and purity. You can actually see these glyphs on the currency that Rico gets in Ilblu, where presumably the higher value glyphs are on coins worth higher value. Next up is Mei, represented by adding two more lines onto Gutsu, which means extraordinary value, yet impurity and purity at the same time. Finally, when we add a head to the Mei, we are left with Haku, the highest value, which is also the shape of a soul, and that implies that souls, or people, are the most valuable thing. I don't know if this is a coincidence, but Rico was considered to be incredibly valuable by the balancing, so yeah. Actually, Gasman pairs the arrival of the balancing with the phrase Kefuri Kefu. Doesn't seem relevant until seeing that Kefu Sore means precious thing, Kefui means precious, and Kefu Kefuri means what is the value, and suddenly it all comes together, Kefu must also mean value. This also shows that reversing a phrase can sometimes turn a statement into a question, which isn't that strange considering that is something that happens in English. Going back to the character Fapta, her name is actually two words put together. Fa and Apta, meaning precious and immortal thing. If the meaning of Fa is extended like with Kefu, then it is reasonable to assume that Fa can also mean value. This would allow for certain phrases to make more sense, like Famo for example. Rico is told that it means see you later, and this is how it is used sometimes, except problems arise when the Hollow uses it to order food. This would make the Famo a Fao, meaning value, added to a Mo, which cannot be translated. Just kidding. Arimomo and Marimo both contain Mo and both relate to understanding stuff because Arimomo means that's a new language and Marimo means I don't understand. With all that, Mo probably means understand, which makes Famo something like I understand your value, which could be an idiom for see you later, while still explaining how it's used for ordering food, where it probably means I understand that food's value, which is all I'm gonna say about value. Moving on. Mr. Gasman or Majikaja has quite a few lines that are just left up for interpretation interpretation. In fact, there are many phrases in Made in Abyss Season 2 that quite often we just aren't told the meaning of, especially if you haven't read the manga and don't have a mental illness. That is unacceptable, and it's time we change it. If there is one word to remember through all the crazy events in this anime, it would be Harima. Harima, Hadimai, Hadi, Hadai, Hadimai, and watch this anime only to hear Hadi in my sleep. What does it mean? Clearly, it must carry a deep and great meaning if it is used so often, except no, it literally means ah. Like it's pretty much a oh. Hadi is the short version, Hadima and Hadimai are the long versions, and Hadimine means ah yes, since mine means yes. Hadi. Mine. But take Hadi Indebu for example. Thanks to Menai and Shirumi, we know that Indebu either means deep emotion or seems like a lie but is true. So I will take the creative liberty to say that in this scene, Hadai Indebu it's coming roughly translates to no way it's coming. Inde and Bu can be separated, so Inde could mean emotion and Bu could mean is or are and indicate the state or location of something. While I am not certain of that translation for Bu, what I am certain of is the many phrases that use it. Abue means she is inside, and Indebu could potentially mean the state of emotions along with its other translations. Menbue is confirmed to mean move or go, and Menmei without the Bu means come, which would indicate that the Bu in Menmei is what indicates the change of location or state of the listener. Yet the most common use of Bu would be in the word bure and buremu, which most likely means greetings or hello. It is used by Belaf during his introduction to Rika, where he says Burso hello, I am Belaf, which if that wasn't enough evidence, Voiko also says Burso hello there. Finally, the award for most used word in this language would be Sosu, and honestly this one's pretty hard to figure out since it's literally everywhere. Reg tells Fapata that it makes sentences more graceful and that she can seem more like an actual princess, which is why Fapata uses it in all of her sentences. That would be straightforward, but Fapata is not the only one that uses it, and it doesn't always seem to be in the context of gracefulness. As of right now, I'm going with it meaning so, or really because it seems to fit best. A couple examples would be Harima, Boniface Moibus Sosu, ah, you look so beautiful now, and Enuhan Indebus Sosu, so you really brought their children out this way. Adding so, or really, is part of the translations in both of these, and could still be a way of showing more confidence, which would be more graceful like Reg said. There is literally no way to go over all the phrases in Made in Abyss, so here are a few more rules that may or may not actually be true. Reminder of the stuff covered already, the U in the first word is dropped when making a compound word, and reversing a statement can turn it into a question. Sometimes certain syllables are interchangeable with each other, with the B sometimes swapping with the P as seen in Zoipaju and Zoipaju, both meaning the exact same thing, she stopped moving. Lastly, the difference between the singular and plural version of a word is I for the singular and EI for the plural, like in Honda and Hyundai, meaning child and children. Marimo and Mademo would mean I don't understand and we don't understand. And you know, we really can't understand everything there is to know about this language, and that's okay. Because Made in Abyss at its core is a representation of the wonder and mystery of exploration, an anime that perfectly encapsulates that otherworldly feeling of isolation looking forward at the unknown. And while it's possible that the show could have done without this fictional language, the mysteries of said language play a part in creating that otherworldly feeling. Yet what gets me the most is how there very clearly was a good amount of thought put into how this fictional language would relate to the culture that the Hollows of Ilblu have, as the construction of the language is reflected in the currency and the ideals that they live by, which is exactly how real languages often reflect the culture from which they derive. This didn't have to happen. The languages could have just been completely made up and incomprehensible, and Made in Abyss would still be pretty much the same. And the fact that it isn't is pretty cool. But after all, it would only feel natural for the depths of the Abyss to have a language that truly was made in the Abyss. What was not made in the Abyss is this video you are watching right now, and if you enjoyed it and found out a random word for a fictional language, then I kindly ask you to descend downwards and explore that subscribe button. I will put my spreadsheet in the description, so if there are any specific translations that I didn't cover or did not make sense, then hopefully that can be cleared up. If you have any specific questions or have other ideas to add about Made in Abyss or just feel like saying stuff, doesn't matter, I'll answer them in the comments anyway. That's everything for now. I'll see you in January.